followed my story at all, my team was the top team 11 out of 12 months of the year. They crushed it. And then, on January 1st, we ended number 2. To me, failed in the biggest way possible. My team didn't fail, because my team showed up. But this is where my head was on January 1st. I failed publicly. I let everyone down. And I didn't know how to lead my team, because I didn't feel like I was the leader they needed. And we all had our COVID year, and we all coped differently. And for me, I coped by throwing myself into this business, and not in a healthy way. Any moms who are at home know there were moments that we all needed to, well, for me, maybe Micah, I needed to escape my children's cell. There were moments I was like, take the kids, I gotta go work. But it became my excuse for everything. And then, when we were number 1, before I felt like kind of this baby team that like, we got to hide and no one really knew who we were, and all of a sudden people knew who we were, and all of a sudden people were watching. And all of a sudden, I started feeling this fear. And my fear was, what if I show up less? My team's gonna show up less. And so I worked all morning, and then at night, I don't like working at night at all. But my fear was, if I don't get on Zoom at night and just show up, my team will stop showing up as well. This was all in my head. But I did it. I showed up nonstop. I gave my kids to my husband. And then on January 1st, we ended number 2. Meanwhile, Micah and Julie, and like the whole like Superstar 6 was kind of being formed, and these amazing, empowering women were coming into my life. And Micah and Julie said, oh, well, we've hired Brad to talk to our team about mindset. Okay, I mean, I need a little help, and it could be good for my team, but I'm also like, tough love, like, we're just gonna go do it. And I'm like, you know, I'm really gonna be like, hey, I'm tough love mindset to my team, like, they just need to go do the things. And Micah said to me, Holly, I don't know if Brad will help me create more diamonds. I don't know if Brad will increase my income. But I know that Brad is making my team better partners, better parents, and better people. Mm-hmm. And if we are here to do anything, it is to help our teams become better people. And so, Micah, and all of her knowledge, I was like, all right, that's it. That's it. Because I gave my team everything I could. They have all the tactical knowledge, and they all showed up. Now I need to help them be better people, and I need to help myself. And so within that, Brad became my one-on-one mindset mentor as well. And our first call, I cried the entire time. If any of you have been on calls with poor Brad, I think maybe we call I'm Brad. You know, I was like this crazy person who's like, well, can you help me do X, Y, Z? And then he gets on a one-on-one call and I'm just like sobbing, right? Who is this person? But one of the questions Brad asked me was, what do you want to get out of these sessions? Like, what do you want? And my response was, I want to breathe. I want to feel like I can breathe again. I felt like I was drowning. I felt like it would never be enough. I felt like I wasn't enough for my kids. I wasn't enough for my team. I wasn't enough. And Brad on the next call asked me, what do you like about yourself? I couldn't answer anything. What are you good at? What do you like about yourself? I could answer a million things about my team. I could answer a million things about my kids. I could answer a million things about my husband. But I couldn't say what I liked about myself. And after 3 months with Brad, I work less, I work smarter, my team's seeing more success, I'm happier, I'm a better mom, and I actually like me, and I can breathe. And there's no tactical trainings. There was truly uncovering my weaknesses, the walls that I put up, because I put up a lot of walls. And so today, as Brad talks, and if you're like, oh, mindset stuff, or I've heard from Brad, try to find one thing to take away from it. Because with each little session, I just changed one really small thing. And we know that's how this business works, right? One thing every day, consistently, keep growing. And so from my greatest failure, I found my greatest strength. Brad helped me uncover that. And so now I can still be tough love, go do all the crap, like I don't want to hear your excuses, but I can also say, you don't need to work 8 hours a day. You don't need to ignore your family. This business should make you better. You should serve your family better. You should definitely be able to breathe. So, with that, Brad. Yeah.
What's up, guys? Happy what day is it? Say Thursday? Happy Thursday. How many of you guys are in either Smart Nation, Inspiration, or TNT? Raise your hand. Where's the fresh meat? Where's the fresh meat? Raise your hand if you're fresh meat. Anyone? I say that with love. Before we kick this off, we're going to have an amazing talk about vision today. I'm going to take you through an experience that you'll never forget. That's my hope. But first, we have to thank 6 amazing women. And guys, maybe this seems a little woo, that's okay. Everyone, I want you guys to think about the person that inspired you to be here. Which of these 6 women, think about the team that you're on, and imagine sending each of them just love. Whatever that means to you, just send them something beautiful, because each of these 6 women pour their hearts and their souls into helping all of us grow. My life has changed from being part of their circle. Just from being, how many of you guys would agree that being part of their circle changes your life in some way, right? So, all of you guys, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for the privilege of allowing me to serve you guys today. I do not take this for granted, and this goes with me forever, so thank you guys. So how many of you guys want more out of life? Raise your hand if you want more out of life. Anyone? Amazing. So a little bit of backstory, just so if you're not in our world where we do these calls each week, a little bit of backstory. Raise your hand if you ever felt like you're not enough in some way. Ever felt that way? Like you're not enough, right? And that's how I was for years. I grew up feeling like nothing I did was enough. Nothing didn't matter. How many of you guys have people in your life where it kind of feels like you're walking on eggshells around them, or you don't know who you need to be to feel worthy of love? How many of you guys have limiting money beliefs in some way, where you want more money, you know it's going to lead to freedom, but at the same time, money is hard to make, money is hard to earn, money is scarce, right? And so I grew up with a lot of these really limiting beliefs, feeling that it was just going to be really, really hard. And I thought out of college, okay, I'm going to get the highest paying job I could to make sure and reverse the $92,000 of student debt that we had. I was like, I'm just gonna get the highest paying job. But I entered in the corporate world, couldn't stand it. Couldn't stand it. It wasn't for me. No judgment if you love your corporate job. You love your job, that's beautiful, right? And there's so many amazing corporate professions that add so much value to people's lives. But I knew that I was meant to create something. And I was like, how am I gonna do this? I'm $92,000 in debt. And when you look at that number, how many guys are in student debt right now? Anyone? In student debt? When you look at that number, it kind of feels like this huge wall where you don't know how you're gonna get through it. And so I found online business, and I was like, this is the ticket, right? This is the ticket. I am gonna go after this, I'm gonna create something, it's gonna be beautiful. But how many of you guys feel like when you're creating your online business, nothing you do is working? You feel like you're putting in the time, you feel like you're putting in the effort, or you're showing up, you're thinking about it all day long, but it's not taken off. Anyone have that experience? That's where I was. I was doing the work. I was trying my hardest. I was investing in these leadership conferences. I was showing up to things like Summit and things of that nature. I was putting myself in situations to learn and grow, but at every single time I tried, it was 2 steps forward, 2 or 3 steps back, and it felt like nothing was happening. And my mind was getting in a dark spot, and I remember asking my coach, I said, what's going on? Why is this happening? I'm doing the podcast, I'm doing the reading, I'm, doing the action steps to get me to my goals, but why is it not happening for me? It seems so much easier for everyone else. How many of you guys have ever compared to someone else where you see their success and it almost makes you feel like it's your failure, right? That's where I was. I felt like them being successful meant that I was failing in some way. And so she said, Brad, you're never gonna get to where you wanna be with this mindset. You're never gonna get there because your mindset is looking for what's wrong. It's consistently looking for what's missing in your life, not what you already have that's beautiful, not what's a gift. You're looking for what's wrong. She's like, you need a mindset coach. So I hired a mindset coach, and I remember on our very first call, she told me something that changed my life forever. And this is a large investment to hire a coach. It was scary, especially with a bunch of limiting money beliefs. And I was telling her, I'm doing the podcast, I'm reading the books, I'm trying my hardest. Why is it working for everyone else, but it's not working for me? Right? I told her about those times. How many of you guys have ever had this wonderful experience where you kind of start feeling sorry for yourself? Then you're sitting on the couch and your laptop's staring at you, just begging you to change your life, but you just don't care, even though you care so much. And you make a plate of microwave nachos at 11 p.m. and you watch Friends reruns. You got the bottle of wine, and you know you should be inviting, but you're not doing it. How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? Raise your hand. You know what I'm talking about? That's where I was. I was telling her about this, and she said something that changed my life forever. She said, Brad, you're so attached to success that you're missing the whole point. You're under the impression that you shouldn't be where you are right now. You think business, success, and money is going to make you happy, but you have it backwards. It's happiness that's going to make you successful. It's appreciation that's going to make you successful. You need to learn to appreciate everything about your life, everything about your past, your childhood, all that stuff, everything about your present circumstances, everything about your future goals. You need to find a way to love where you're at because appreciation is the master skill to faster success. And I was resenting my circumstances, thinking it was wrong to be where I was, thinking I shouldn't be where I am right now. My favorite quote of all time is from Tony Robbins, and it's trade your expectations for appreciations and your whole life changes in an instant. And I was resenting that stuff. And so I figure I'm all in. I'm gonna buy a ticket to a mindset conference. I'm gonna get this figured out. And how many of you guys have ever had those amazing experiences where you're tested by the universe in some way? Where it's like the minute you decide to start taking your money more seriously, then all of a sudden what happens? The car breaks down, right? Yep. Where you start taking your health more seriously and your friends want to go buy chicken wings, right? Like something like that. And you can't stick to the meal plan, whatever it is. Well, in the months leading up to this mindset event, I got fired from my job. Now keep in mind, I'm $92,000 in debt, I have no savings, now my income is gone, right? And luckily, I already had tickets to that event. And so I remember landing in San Diego, going to the grocery store to buy peanut butter and bread because I couldn't afford eating out at the time. And I go back to the hotel and check my bank balance like I did 100 times a day at that point. And I had overdrafted across the country, dig that knife in a little bit deeper. And I was thinking, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna get out of this? And I remember walking into the conference, tail between my legs, and the topic that day was appreciation. Appreciating your past, appreciating your present, and appreciating your future goals. That's the key to getting unstuck in your life. That's what's gonna set your soul on fire and make things take off. And the reason I tell you that story is because ever since adopting that, not only has it changed our life forever financially, it's changed our life. We were able to retire from corporate America. We went on to create an amazing business serving clients all over the world. But I learned something really, really beautiful, and this is what I want you to adopt from this. Life is always happening for you, not to you. That's right, Sarah. Life is always happening for you and not to you. The pain, the problems, they are gifts. It's leading you to a lesson that you're meant to have to explode your future and create the life that you're meant to have. The life that I have with my family right now would not be possible if it wasn't for those challenging situations. So I want you to take a look at your life in the situation that you're in right now. How many of you guys are experiencing pain in some way, little or big? Should be every hand in this room. Every single person is experiencing pain. But write this down. Pain is guaranteed. Suffering is your choice. Pain is guaranteed. Suffering is your choice. What does that mean? That doesn't mean we deny painful situations. They happen. It means we don't stay there. And what we oftentimes do is we get so caught up in the pain of what's going on, the challenge of what's going on, that we forget to look to a brighter future. I was in the cocktail hour last night with everyone, and the number one question I asked intentionally to kind of get a feel for where you guys are at was, what do you want out of this event? What do you really, same question I asked Holly, what do you want out of this experience? What do you want out of this event? And the number one question, or the number one answer was, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I want. And I want to challenge you here, because set an intention right now. Think about this. You are surrounded by some of the most successful people in your business. You have the opportunity to learn from people not just here, but also on the screen at Summit to teach you how to create the life that you really want. Don't squander that opportunity. Take advantage of that opportunity and set an intention. And the reason I share that with you is because once I started setting intentions for what I was going to create in my life, I was able to bypass all the BS and I actually created the life that I really wanted. Right? So what we need to do today is to set a vision and connect to a compelling vision of the future. How many of you guys have ever felt stuck? Raise your hand if you've ever felt stuck in some way. Beautiful, right? Everyone has. But most people say, I'm stuck in my business, I'm stuck in my bank, I'm stuck in my finances, I'm stuck in all this stuff. You're not actually stuck. You're just running the same patterns over and over and over again. You're trying to solve the problem with the same mindset that created the problem. And if you try to solve the problems in your life with the same mindset that created the problem, you're never going to actually move your life forward. You're just going to create more of the same. Most people will set dreams and ambitions from what they've been able to do in the past. How many of you guys have ever thought about your big goals and big dreams, like for your business? And you've had some reservations about if you should set a big goal or a big dream, right? How many of you guys know that your big dream isn't actually your big dream? How many of you guys are playing it safe, knowing that you could go bigger, but you're not? Please write this in your notes. The past only becomes the future if you live there. The past only becomes the future if you live there. Think about the consequences of setting small goals, small ambitions. What are the consequences of setting small goals? Who wants to share? Someone raise your hand. Who wants to share? What's the consequence of setting small goals, small ambitions? Anyone? Sarah, tell us. I'll repeat what you say, don't worry. Living at the lowest level you can possibly live at. Okay, that's a good one. I love that. What else? Who else? Yes, over here. What's the consequence of setting a small goal? You don't know how to keep going when you hit that goal. Yeah, the goal feels unfulfilling. How many of you guys have ever gone after a goal, hit a goal, and then when you hit that goal, you're like, well, where's the fulfillment? Where's the joy? Where's the happiness? Because it doesn't excite you. It doesn't inspire you. How many of you guys are actually inspired by a compelling vision right now? Where you set something that makes you it sets your soul on fire, where every day you wake up, you're like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to go after it, I'm going to find a way to make it happen, or I'm going to make the way. How many of you guys actually have a dream that sets your soul on fire right now? Anyone? Beautiful. Now that was what? About an eighth of the room. So what I want to do today is help you dream a little bit bigger. Think about the consequence of setting small goals and small ambitions. When you set small goals and small ambitions, what does it do to your energy? Does it raise it or lower it? Lower it, right? Because we're living in the past. We're living in what we haven't yet been able, or what we haven't yet been able to do. All right, I missed Success Club 5, so therefore I'm a bad business owner. I'm not going to be able to create my dreams, and therefore I should just set a safe goal. I missed Diamond, so why go after something bigger than that? Why set an ambition to 2-star, right? Why set that ambition, right? And we stay in that place. It lowers your energy, and it makes you feel less than. And what happens in your head? You start playing limiting stories, right? Over and over and over again. I'm not enough. I'll never be enough. Other people don't understand. My situation is harder. How many of you guys have ever had that? How many of you have ever felt your situation is harder than someone else's? Anyone? Everyone's had that feeling. But that mindset is not going to actually create a big dream. And it lowers your energy. The only way to create what you really want is to have extremely high levels of energy. How many guys experienced an amazing workout this morning with someone named Julie Boris? Anyone? When you had that energy, what happened to your ambitions? Did they go up or down? I feel like you could take the world on, right? We need to take responsibility for creating that level of energy with our vision for our life. If we don't set dreams that set our soul on fire at Julie Boris level energy, then we're not going to get to where we want to be. Write this down. If you don't have pee your pants goals, you're not going to hit your goals. You need to have pee your pants goals. And people say all the time, but what if I don't hit it? What if you don't hit it? You heard the story. You heard Holly's story. You heard my story. If you don't hit it, you learn. You've heard the cliches a million times. Failures are gifts, right? Cliches are beautiful. Don't roll your eyes at cliches. They are incredibly helpful in creating a life that you really, really want. We need to connect with the truth, which is setting big dreams and not attaching to the outcome, but rather being excited about a possibility and also loving where you're currently at. That's where your life explodes. How many of you guys have ever heard the cliche, appreciate the journey? Anyone here heard the cliche, appreciate the journey? You post it on Instagram and then later that day you're pissed off about something, right? You ever felt that way? Yes. Super common. We need to learn to appreciate the journey, but also strive for something bigger. How many of you guys have kids? Beautiful. And when your kids set goals and your kids talk about what they want to do, what happens to their energy? You see them walking into the room, and what happens? They want to be Spider-Man and the president and an astronaut all at the same day. So they walk up with a suit and tie and a cape on, they give their presidential speech. What happens to their energy? It skyrockets because you need high levels of energy if you're ever going to be creative. Remember what I said earlier, if you're feeling stuck, it's because you're running the same patterns over and over and over again, trying to solve the problem with the mindset that created the problem. So it's never going to change. But when you set huge dreams and huge ambitions that set your soul on fire, all of a sudden you run a new pattern in your mind. You start to feel more fulfilled, you start to feel more excited. We need something that we're striving for. So think about your goals and dreams right now. Write it down on a piece of paper. What's your big goal? What's your big dream right now? And write it down. And I can imagine, if you're anything like me, you're likely writing down a goal that either you're told you're supposed to hit, or a goal that really doesn't serve you in the way that you want it to. Maybe your goal sets your soul on fire, but if you're anything like me, it doesn't. And so take a look at that goal. First of all, ask yourself, does that goal actually light you up? If the answer to that question is no, here's what we need to do. Ask yourself, first of all, is that big dream big enough? And number two, what do you want that to do for your life? Because, write this down, business goals fuel life goals. Business goals fuel life goals. If you guys have 2-star, 5-star, 10-star, 15-star diamond dreams, those are beautiful. What's that going to do for your life? Like you heard from Holly, or I think it was Holly, or maybe it was Ruth, this is a vehicle to create a beautiful life for you and your family, right? It's a vehicle. It's a beautiful vehicle. It's a vehicle. So what are those big dreams and those big ambitions doing for you? And I can completely acknowledge and honor and respect that right now, if you're in a place where you haven't been able to hit those goals, it's like that devil's on your shoulder saying, no, I can't ever do that. I'm not going to be able to get to where I want to be, right? And it almost feels like you want to hold yourself back a little bit. But I'm telling you right now, there's another level in you. What's this conference called? Elevate. One more time? Elevate. One more time? Elevate. There you go. Elevate, right? There's another level in you. There's another level in you that knows they're meant for so much more. Raise your hand if you know you're meant for so much more than what you're getting out of life right now. What standards are you setting for yourself to allow yourself to create it? Because you don't get your shoulds in life, you get your musts. You don't get your shoulds, you get your musts. A lot of us should hit Success Club. A lot of us should hit Diamond. A lot of us should hit 2-star. And we're shooting all over ourselves. Right? It's not a fun place to be. When did you decide that you're going to do it? And the reason that I ask you that is because there's a much deeper feeling behind just the goal. What's that goal going to mean to you? What's it going to mean to your family? Close your eyes for a second. Picture your kids. Picture your spouse. Picture the people that you love the most. What's that goal going to do for them? Is it a college education? Is it a vacation? Maybe it's teaching your little girl to believe in herself. What's that dream going to do for your family? What's the legacy you are going to leave for that family? Open your eyes. And ask yourself, does your goal inspire you to create that why? The answer to that is no, dream bigger. Level up. Level up. So ask yourself and write down right next to where you wrote the last goal, what's your actual goal? What's the goal? Being here surrounded by these amazing people, what do you really want? What's the next level for you? Is it really I want to hit diamond? Is it really I want to hit 2-star? Or do you want to hit superstar? You want to follow in these incredible women's footsteps and create a legacy, not just financially, but in terms of ways of thinking, believing. I get talked to all the time about how do I break my beliefs? How do I get rid of all this crap that's going on in my head? One word, vision. Anyone play tennis? Anyone play tennis? Anyone? Not many? I'm not a tennis player. But there's a cool metaphor. There's a cool metaphor that I want to share with you guys about how to set big dreams and big goals. Imagine that you're a tennis player and your ambition is to get better at tennis. And you've been playing against the same people that you've always played tennis against. Right? You're trying to improve. If you play against the people you've always played against, are you going to create an amazing tennis career? No. You could get this shiny new racket. You can get brand new tennis shoes. You can buy tennis balls. You can buy the most expensive equipment, but are you actually going to become the best at tennis if you're playing against the people that you're always playing against? No. Just like in goal setting, if you're trying to set a big dream, set a big goal, but you're not actually getting there, and you don't have the motivation, raise your hand if you feel like you don't have the motivation to create your big dreams and big goals. Anyone here? Anyone here? Cool. Write this down. If you don't have motivation, you just have crappy goals. If you don't have motivation, you just have crappy goals. Raise the level of your goals. You will find motivation. But people talk to me all the time about, I don't have a belief to actually make it happen, which is why we need to bypass it with vision. So imagine that Serena Williams walks onto that tennis court. And if Serena Williams walks onto that tennis court, does the racket matter? The type of shoes matter? Tennis balls matter? No, you're just playing to keep up. You're just trying to find a way because you're playing against the best. You're playing with the best, which automatically causes you to level up. So when you set dreams that make you expand and literally become a new person, that's where you're going to start winning at life. You're going to learn what you're capable of that you didn't know you were capable of before. So many people set goals and dreams and ambitions and set them from a place of, I just want to make sure I'm going to be okay. I just want to make sure this is going to work out. I just want to make sure that everything's going to go in my favor. Right? How many of you guys have ever not gone after a dream because you don't know how it's going to work? Any perfectionists in the room? People that are on calls each week, how do we feel about that? Anyone? Right? Perfection is the Tony Robbins quote. Perfection is the lowest standard we could ever set for ourselves because it guarantees pain. It guarantees pain. How? Number one, you'll either achieve huge dreams and goals, make sure everything is checked off, but you'll be like, where's the fulfillment, where's the joy? Right? You'll bounce from peak to peak. Second way you'll feel pain, you'll fail along the way, and when you fail along the way, what happens? You take it to mean that you are a failure, that your character is a failure. And when you take it to mean that your character is a failure, think about what that does to your level of action. It kills your level of action. And the third way is that you're probably not even going to start because you don't know how it's going to work. And if you live in that place, then we just hold ourselves back from what we really want. So my challenge to you today is to level up your dreams and ambitions for an incredible future and connect to something so much bigger than just financial freedom. Yes, you'll have financial freedom. When you start growing, you realize that you don't set goals for the goals themselves. You set goals and dreams and vision for the person you become. In order to get to the next level, you have to literally become a different person. How many of you guys have ever had that experience where once you decided, you went after it and you unveiled a new part of yourself that you didn't know was there? Anyone? Ever had that experience? That needs to happen again and again and again because high performers are consistently looking for opportunities to spike their levels of courage and put themselves out there in a way they've never done it before. How many of you guys seek opportunities to be courageous? Anyone here seek opportunities to be courageous? How often? How often? If you're like most people, it's once every couple months. I get excited, I'm passionate, elevates here, I'm going to go after it, I'm going to set a big goal, I'm going to go after it, and then what happens? We dwindle down and kind of slow down. Then we need another event to get us all hyped up again. And we have a little courage spike at that time. My challenge to you is to be a high performer. You seek out opportunities to have courage and deploy courage every day. Every day. How many invites are you sending right now? Is it 3? Is it 5? Is it 0? What if it was 20? What if you reached out to that person that scared the crap out of you? All of you have one. Someone that you want to join your team, but you haven't reached out to because you're worried, what are they going to think of me? Are they going to judge me? Guess what? You're being judged either way, so you might as well be judged creating a legacy. Right? You're being judged either way, so you might as well be judged creating a legacy. So what's it going to be? Well, I don't have the belief to make it happen. Where do you think belief is formed? It's from doing what you didn't think you were capable of before. Right? The stories that play in your head that are the reason why you can't, they're giving you something. How many of you guys have ever felt held back by limiting stories in some way? Right? I'm not smart enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not healthy enough, whatever it is. Here's an interesting question that I don't think most people have been asked. What is that story giving you? What is it giving you? Because if you have a reason, a great reason why you can't be successful, it's giving you something. And I want you to take a look inside and ask yourself, what need is that really meeting? Is that making me feel really important? That I have a way out or my situation is harder? Does it make me feel safe and certain because this is the story that's always played in my head? What's the reason that you're telling yourself this story? How is it making you feel safe? You change your story, you change your whole life. So it's time for us to write a new story. How many of you guys want to go through an experience today that will allow you to feel so in touch with who you are, so in touch with why you're doing this, and so excited about the future that when you leave this room, you're like, I better go invite. I don't even want to show up. I'm just going to go invite everyone I know. How many of you guys want an experience like that today? How many of you guys would want just the energy, the drive, the motivation, and inspiration to create a beautiful legacy for your family? Anyone here want that?
Yes.
Yes? One more time?
Yes.
What did Julie say earlier? She said, say yes when it's uncomfortable. What do you need to say yes to in your life right now? Okay, so I want to take you through an experience, and if you have babies in the room, okay, I ask you to be respectful of this experience. It's going to be a closed-eye process. You might not understand what's happening. That's okay. If you've been with me before, you've probably gone through something similar, but I want to take you through something right now that will allow you to connect to who you really are. And when you connect to who you really are, and your soul and your heart, all of a sudden you allow yourself to dream again. How many of you guys know that inside you need to dream so much bigger than you are right now? It's time we do that. So if you have babies, if they start making a bunch of noise, please leave the room. That'd be super duper awesome. But, okay, everyone, notebooks down, okay? I want you to take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath in. And exhale out. And another really big deep breath in. And exhale out. And just think for a second of all the limitation, all the BS that you keep telling yourself about why you can't be successful, why you can't create the dreams that you really want to create. And just sit with that feeling for a moment. Ask yourself, is that serving you? Is that giving you the life that you really want? And so just start breathing deep. In the next couple minutes we'll start this, but I want you to keep your eyes closed the whole time. Heart Math Institute did a study. And what they did is they evaluated how people solved problems. And they took a look and measured people's heart rates and heart and their brain while in a state of stress, while in a state of story. And what they found when people tried to solve problems from that state, what they found was it was just chaos. When you align the EKG and the EEG on a graph, it was just chaos, lines going everywhere. But when people got into a deep state of appreciation and actually visualized a beautiful future, something interesting happened. The heart and the brain perfectly aligned. And all of a sudden they felt at peace. You're all going through something right now that other people don't understand, and I want to honor you and respect you for that. But we can't let that hold us. We can't let that us stay safe and hide from a big dream. So take a really big deep breath in. and exhale out. Another one, really big deep breath in, and exhale out. One more time, big deep breath in, exhale out. Take both your hands and physically put them on your heart for a moment. Physically feel your heart. And as you breathe, breathe deep into your heart. Feel the power of it. Feel the strength of it. Focus on what your heart has guided you to do, or to be, or to give, or to share in this life. You didn't need to buy this heart. You didn't need to earn it. Something thought enough of you to give you this gift of life the moment you were born. As long as it beats, you live. It's the greatest gift you've ever received. So just take a moment and feel so appreciative, so grateful for this heart that's beating in your chest that you don't have to work for it. It beats 100,000 times a day. And just treasure that for a second. Just feel so much appreciation for that for a second. Feel that in your heart right now. And now step back to a memory in your life. Any memory at all that you can feel unbelievably deep feelings of gratitude for. Maybe it's when you had your first baby. Maybe it's when you got married. Whatever it is for you, go back to any moment where you just felt like it was a sacred moment, a special moment. And just well up with that feeling. But don't just see it from the outside. Relive it like you're there. See it through your own eyes. Breathe the same way you did then. Feel what you felt then. Hear what you heard then now. Like it's happening all over again. And just live in that moment for a second. And take it all in, knowing this feeling's within you whenever you want. Take it all in and breathe it into your heart right now. Nice big deep breath. Now go to a second memory. What's a second memory in your life that you can feel grateful for? It could be 30 years ago, could be today, but just a beautiful magic moment in your life. And just feel that in your heart right now. And take that all in. Same thing, not from the outside. Relive it. See it through your own eyes. Experience it all over again. Breathe the same way you did then. Feel what you felt then. See what you saw then. Experience it all over again and just take it in, feeling so grateful, so appreciative. Now step back to a coincidence. Something in your life that happened that you weren't expecting to happen, but it led to something beautiful, something magical, a person, a career, an insight, a life change. Go back to that moment. And think of everything it led to. You weren't expecting it, but it led to something magical. And just feel that in your heart right now. What did it lead to? Maybe you were in line at Starbucks, you met the love of your life. Maybe you didn't mean to get pregnant, now you have an amazing family. Maybe you got a message on Instagram and you're building your dreams. What's that coincidence you weren't expecting? Was that a coincidence, or were you being guided? It's so beautiful when we realize life is always happening for us, not to us. The pain, the problems, they're gifts. They lead to a more elevated version of you. So take a moment right now and just think of everything it's led to in your life that you treasure. And just feel so grateful, so appreciative. Just stay in that moment for a second. And now reach back into your past into a moment that made you so excited. What's a moment that made you excited? Go back there. Maybe it was this morning with Julie. Whatever moment it was, go back and just reach into that moment. What's a moment that made you excited and come alive? And bring that into your heart right now. Go back to a moment of romance or love. Bring that into your heart right now. Go back to a moment that you were proud of. When's the last time you said to yourself, I'm so proud of you? What if we started? Take that proud moment in and just feel it in your heart right now. Feel your heart just getting bigger and these feelings starting to expand, these amazing feelings, these amazing gifts of love and appreciation. And now, from this state, I want you to ask yourself, what do you really want? What do you really want out of this life? What do you really want out of this event? What do you really want out of this business? I want you to reach into the future and pull in a memory from the future of who you're going to become. What are you going to create? What legacy are you going to leave? What's going to happen to the smiles of your kids? What's going to happen to your relationship? Think about what you really want out of this life and reach into the future and bring in a moment right now that you're so excited about. A moment that just sets your soul on fire. It hasn't happened yet, but it's coming. And reach out and grab that moment, pull it into your heart right now. Reach out into the future and grab a moment of love, a moment of romance. Bring that into your heart right now. It hasn't happened yet, but it's coming. Reach into the future, bring a moment that you're proud of. Right in your heart, and just feel your heart building and building, like all this energy is coming to a peak, and just feel all of this coming on one on top of the other, one on top of the other, these memories from the future, excitement, pride, just joy, all these beautiful memories from the future, and bring them all in right now, and ask yourself one simple question. What do I want? What do I really want? What's the one goal where if I set that dream and that goal, it would elevate my life to a whole new level? Go there right now and ask yourself what that dream is. When you have that dream, raise your hand. When you know what you want out of this life, raise your hand. And if you don't know what the answer is, ask your heart, because guess what? Your heart knows. Raise your hand if you have that answer. And now take that hand, open your eyes, and write that goal down on a sheet of paper right in front of you. Write that goal down right in front of you. And how many of you guys, make some noise if that goal and that dream was way bigger than the goal or dream you set before? Anyone here have a goal or dream that's 10 times bigger than what they set before? Who? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? How many of you guys saw things in your life that you weren't expecting to see in that moment? How many of you guys saw memories that you haven't thought about for 10, 20, 30 years? How many of you guys have beautiful memories with your kids? Think about the power of that. What you felt in that moment is who you really are. That's who you really are. That's the you that's capable of shattering any beliefs that are getting in their way of creating the life that you really want. That's the real you. One thing that I've learned in my life is you do not control the length of your life, but you do control its depth and its meaning. You were not put here to experience mediocrity. You were not put here to play it safe. You were put here to let your soul expand. You were put here to serve people and help people and uplift people. Every single person here has a beautiful message that they can share with the world. It's time you gave yourself permission to do that. It's time you gave yourself permission to help others come alive. So question for you. On the count of 3, we're all going to say a big yes. Not yet. If you are committed right now to setting a much bigger dream, much bigger ambition than you've ever set before, because guess what? Your family deserves it. You deserve it. Everything in your life up to this point, it's been there for a reason, leading to something magical, leading to a new level of you. You came to this event wanting something huge from it. It's time that you use this event to create the life that you're meant to have. So, if you are willing to do this, 1, 2, 3, say yes.
Yes.
One more time?
Yes.
Stand up. Stand up. Feel your feet grounding into the floor right now. Feel your feet grounding into the floor right now, and just connect to this moment. You are surrounded by 372, right? 372 incredible women that are meant to create amazing lives together. It's time that you decide right now. Look at each other. Look at each other. Don't look at me. Look at each other right now. Make a commitment to one another right now that it's time you level up. Whatever excuses were there before, whatever limitations were there before, no more. There is a line in the sand. There is a moment right now that all of you are waiting to step over. That line in the sand is you decide to be the best version of you. That's it. The best version of you. Now you guys know in your heart, that's who you really are. So make a decision right now, because when you live in that state, anything is possible. And all that BS that was holding you back from taking the action that you knew you were meant to take, it doesn't matter anymore. it doesn't matter anymore because you step over that line, there's a new level of you, and that new level of you is meant for greatness. That new level of you is meant to create beautiful dreams, beautiful legacy, beautiful memories with not just these incredible women, but your family and all the people that you love. Thank you so much. For the privilege of having us. Thank you guys.
Would you like an opportunity to do some questions? Sit down.
That's fine. You sure? Yeah.
Let's do a little bit of Q&A.